welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is September 12th, 2021. I am your host, Luis Palacio, with my co-host, Chris.
Hey, it's your boy, Pokemon Trigger, please. How are you guys doing?
He is
I'm feeling pretty good.
the Pokemon Trigger, please. But you know.
He's only saying that because I was yelling in solo queue before this, but we're not going to worry about small little annoying things like that. Oh my gosh.
So how's your week been, my friend?
It's been a pretty good week, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty laid back, but at least we've had some events in Pokemon Go to kind of do on the regular daily.
Well, it's our daily way of lifestyle with Pokemon Go anyway, so it's not much difference in that regard, but still. We're once again here to talk about Pokemon Go's news, updates, and ranting about the game because we love the game just as much as you do. Just remind ourselves and everybody around here that we are part of the Professor Network. Please check us out at professornetwork.com/Purified Podcasts. Wonderful people to work with every single damn time. But yeah, you just check them out, please. Every single time. Every single time. Alright, Chris, I guess since we're already here, we're talking about things, let's go ahead and recap a few things and talk about our shinies and hundos that we got in this past week. What you got there? Oh, can you hear me? Oh, hang on. I muted myself from Discord, didn't I?
I was like, my internet didn't go down.
No. You're good. At least everybody in the podcast will still hear me, but for some reason, I think I clicked one of my hotkeys for muting Discord, and that's why it happened. So, but yeah, no, that's fine. Well, I was like,
don't worry, you're just scaring me.
Well, I remind everybody, of course, everything else, and let's just talk about some shinies and hundos, since we're not gonna mess anything up in this podcast.
All right.
So what you got?
I'll tell you. I don't think I was too eventful. But we'll see.
Manny, welcome.
What was the 6th? Yeah, no, I don't think I got like anything too crazy. I've gotten some like shadow Pokemon. I'm excited for PvP.
All right.
But other than that, nothing too crazy. Like a shadow horsey the other day. I was freaking out.
What happened in that shadow horsey?
I don't know if it's as good as another one I got, but it does have PvP heavy, so maybe I'll use one in Ultra League and one in Great League. It's like 3, 15, 14.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Which looks really good, but yeah, I mean, we need another rocket event for it to be useful,
Yeah,
or I can just run it single move.
I don't think I have any shadows that I've been keeping. I've mostly been keeping just ones that I'm going to purify later on for the metal. So it's not
I've just been purifying as I go, because I'm like, how much do we need to do? Like 1,000?
I think it's like 500, isn't it? Let's check the metal real quick.
It's a crazy amount.
It is a crazy amount. It's a big amount. I'm not even in gold. Oh yeah, 1,000. Oh my lord. That is too much.
Much dust.
Too much dust. Even if it's just 1,000 dust for like the regular ones, that will be what? 100,000 dust just by doing that.
Even doing the cheapest one, and I've just been trying to do all the 300s I can.
Like 1 million dust to spend on that, and I spend it on other Pokemon that are not 1,000 dust each. So I definitely have my status going down if I keep doing that for sure.
Like if you cry every time.
Yeah. Well, for me, I did actually have quite an eventful beginning of the psychic event here. Mostly because I guess I was on a drought for a while. Was getting like hundies and shinies and hundos, but not as much as I usually do. So I'll start with my shinies. I did get, aside from the one in the podcast, I got 6 shinies actually. So I got, right at the start of the event, like probably 5 minutes after it started, I opened the game and I got a shiny Slowpoke, which I evolved into Slowking. Ooh. Then I go plus a Wurmple on my way to work or away. I don't know what I was doing that day. I knew it was that day off or something. So that's actually kind of nice because I didn't have a shiny Wurmple aside from the one with the hat, so I know that I needed one to be able to evolve anyways. It's technically my second one, but it's one that I can evolve, so that's pretty cool. Right on stream, I did get a Drowsy. More like, okay. A Sandrew Go Plus. I'm actually happy about this because that completes the family too for me. Sandrew Go Plus. I traded for a shiny Palkia, which is as crappy IVs anyway, so it doesn't matter at this point. It's probably going to go to home. And just today, I was doing one raid and I got a shiny Lugia, so another trade fodder Pokemon, so that's pretty nice.
Don't forget that Aeroblast.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, that's my haul for shinies. As for more hundos, I'm actually happy about this. Last hundo that I got here is a Hundo Froakie from a lucky trade.
Making me think of Pokemon Unite some more.
I know the Greninja should be like the main, everybody's main, but still, I'm actually happy about this because I've been wanting a Hundo Froakie for the longest time since its release. And I always miss the ones call outs and everything because I'm never really that close for it. So I'm happy. It's happened. I'm cool. I'm hatching an egg. Let's hope it's a shiny, but we'll see how it goes. In that regards, real quick, how's the psychic event going out for you? I know it's finishing up in a few days.
It's been alright. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not in the wild. I'm not really looking for the psychic Pokemon as much as I am like the normal-ish Pokemon. Because I'm trying to find the ones that Ditto disguises as.
Right.
I'm more focused on that. I'm not gonna lie. But it is kind of cool to see the variety. I always keep saying these are Pokemon that you don't see very often except at nighttime.
Right.
So it's very cool to see them in the middle of the day. The only thing is it's probably not going to be weather boosted when you see it. So
most of the time, no. But if we have maybe cloudy weather is when they spawn. Oh no, I'm sorry, windy. Yeah.
For psychic, yeah.
Yeah. But it's not too bad. Like Rolls is one that I do wish I have more extra large candies for anyways. I know I don't catch as many as I should have been doing, but either way. But that's
just got a 100 Pidgey.
100 Pidgey? Nice.
Big sad.
Yeah, there's a Pidgey here too. Let's see. We'll see. But and overall, I mean the start of the event for me was actually pretty good. We should be getting the next set of legendaries in the next coming days. I think it's kind of Wednesday or something, but we will have regular spawns for a couple of days in the next week, and then the next event, the fashion event, should be happening as we finish up talking about this podcast today or something. Which actually, I completely forgot about that they teased these, but they did put in a little image in their Twitter actually showcasing the Pokemon that's going to appear. And just as much as I guessed, we are going to be getting that Doggo from Generation 6 that has all the styles in the world. Which
was a perfect guess.
It was a perfect guess. I don't know why. I just thought it's a new Pokemon. It's going to be a fashionable. We don't have the full details of the event just yet. We just know what is coming. And all the teasers that they're definitely been talking about, but I guess we should probably go ahead into the research topics of the day, which we're already there anyways. But yeah, that is technically what we're gonna have. Let me go ahead and go back to the blog post where they were talking about when it starts. I think it was in the September news section. September 13th. So actually tomorrow it starts, right? No.
Yeah. Tomorrow's the 13th.
So no, tomorrow is the 13th. That's when the psychic event ends, and then structure stuff, 3 fashion on new avatars, and more during the fashion week taking place from Tuesday the 21st. Oh wow!
So we got a little bit of time.
We got quite a bit of a week before the next event actually starts. I'm surprised they're not planning to do anything this coming week. What are you thinking, Niantic? What are you thinking?
Just hanging out for the week. I'm mostly interested to see if you'll be able to change the style of the Furfrou, or if it's going to be like a costumed Pokemon,
Well, it doesn't have an evolution, so that's the good part. The good part about it. Thank you much for the raid there. But I don't think we have to worry about too much about it. Maybe they'll introduce some kind of mechanic for us to actually change the fur of the Pokemon, but that means that will actually catalyst into actually doing form changes for the Pokemon too. So if they do that, then we can actually see like other forms happening and all that stuff. So that's what's getting me interested in what's going on. The one good thing about like this week that we're gonna be having is the changes in legendaries. We're gonna have all 3 of the Lake Trios happening on September 15. Actually, no. When does he actually starts coming around? September 14th, so on Tuesday, 10 a.m. That's when they start spawning once again, and definitely something that we're gonna be hunting for in that regard. But yeah, to answer your question, Chris, I'm not entirely sure if that's not gonna be the case. There may be like different types of Fervor or whatever his name is out in the wild. You can probably look them up in different places, maybe the city, the grass, and all that stuff, just like any other regular Pokemon. But that's when it makes a difference when it comes down to it. Just because this Pokemon has so many different forms of it and different ways of actually styling it. Plus, we're definitely gonna have more news of what exactly the event is going to be. So we're definitely gonna see more custom Pokemons in that regard. And what kind of shinies they may release. This one didn't really have a shiny release. It was more like Inkay release, and that's about it. So I'm not entirely sure what they're planning or what they want to do for this kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll definitely have more news when it comes down to it. There's definitely more exciting and not exciting stuff coming up in the next few months.
You're just teasing us at the moment.
Yeah. Well, before we actually talk about the actual piece of news that we have today, because we only have one piece of news today, let's talk about how the Pokemon Go and Secrets of the Jungle movie collaboration is going to happen once October hits, October 8 or something similar to it. So we have less than a month before that actually happens. A lot of people... Now, when this was released in Japan, we did get the chance of getting Shiny Celebi, which is cool, because it was one of those things that everybody needed and wanted, and that actually helped us get other shiny mythical legendaries that we wouldn't have at the time. As for this release in the United States, or at least in English form, what Pokemon do you think that we're going to have released in Pokemon Go for that reason, Chris?
I know what you're poking at with your do-do-do-do-do. A little Zarude. We'll see.
Well, Zarude technically isn't Zarude. Well, just take off the psychic and put in the dark. So I guess it's like the counter to Celebi in that regard.
A little bit. He's a monkey version of Shiftry.
That's what I'm saying. But he's a mythical, which has the mythical stats. But
yeah.
Celebi is a psychic grass type Pokemon. Zarude is a dark grass type Pokemon. So it's kind of like the equivalent to Celebi in that regard, but just more like, monkey size.
Dude, he's gigantic too.
I know.
I didn't realize how big he was.
Yeah, I know, right? So it kind of features entirely what that's going to be. We definitely will have more information as the month comes in. Next month comes in, of course. The movie is set to release in Netflix on October 8th. So we'll definitely see that collaboration or information about collaboration during that time. Now, they could also, just like previous announcements usually, or previous collaborations like this, they could just go ahead and release the storyline for Shiny Celebi once again. If you already have Shiny Celebi, then you don't have to catch another one. You're probably just going to get candy for it. But that means that it helps the players who just started out and things like that to help out get to that point once again. But most of everybody that plays Pokemon Go kind of already knows the strategy to this. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Jesse and James come back in balloons. Some shadow shinies that we want, technically. But it kind of was a pain in the butt because the rates were so low for the balloon to happen that not a lot of people finished the quest until they finally boosted up the rates at the end of the week, remember?
Yeah, I will say I don't know if they're gonna do it, but I know something that helped us was keeping on the radar because that meant Jesse and James were just fighting with the leaders; they weren't fighting with the grunts.
Right.
Um, so I don't know if we see a return of that. Just keep that in mind ahead of time.
Hmm.
But I'm hopeful. I am hopeful that they'll make a return.
I'm hopeful for that, but I'm also hopeful that Cerudo may come into Pokemon Go. We have seen them, completely skip a generation at this point, so it's not uncommon for them to release Pokemons that we shouldn't see for another 2 years or year or so. So it kind of
The fact
makes
that we already got Zacian and Zamazenta too.
it kind of blows us away in that regard. So we don't know what Niantic really has in store for us when it comes to these kind of collaborations or things like that. So um, we'll see. We'll see. I am excited about that collaboration once again. I do want to see the movie. I never have really seen the movie myself. Uh, but that's because, Pokemon is Pokemon. You always gotta love every aspect of it, anyways. So, so we'll see how it is. Now we allure to some speculation of the next few events that may happen later and by the end of the month or by the beginning of next month. Let's go ahead and talk about the one piece of news that Niantic has given us for this week. And this is what, Chris?
I believe you're talking about the new Community Day. And we're still waiting on Oshawott, but the October Community Day has been released, and that is for Duskull, the Requiem Pokemon? What? I never knew that. And yeah, I be excited, be not very excited. I don't know, it's a Community Day.
So let's go ahead and go to the details. I'm pretty sure everybody should know the details because community days are pretty lenient in that regard. But basically, this is how it's going to happen. So when is this happening? October 9th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time. Duskull, of course, will appear more frequently in the wild. If you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny one. It's been a shiny since 4 years ago, so I don't think so. Once you use Duskull into his final form, Ducksnore, it will know the charge attack Shadow Ball, and we will go over the implementations of Shadow Ball being part of PvP and PvEs for it, so give us a second here, guys. They will give you time research to be able to earn up to 4 Sinnoh Stones during the Community Day time, which is actually the item you need to evolve the Pokemon into its final evolution. 30 Ultra Balls with available shop at no cost. Pick them up during the event, just like any other Community Day. Take a snapshot. Of course, it will be Duskull. There will be a one-time purchase Community Day box once again for 1280 Pokecoins, 50 Ultra Balls, 4 incense, 4 star pieces, and an Elite Charge CM, which I have heard is one of the better ones we have had in a while, just because of the inclusion of the star pieces and instances in it. Plus, of course, the Elite TM. We also will have the special research story for $1 equivalent to the price in your country. Nothing dull about Duskull. Interesting naming. And then, of course, will let us know when the tickets will be available. The bonuses for this Community Day in October will be 3 times cash Stardust. And then Incense and Lure module will activate it during the event will last for 3 hours. So those are the details to Community Day. What do you think so far, Chris, about this?
I'm gonna start by saying I know it's been out for a while, but personally I think this is kind of a nice, calm Community Day. There are always going to be players that don't have the shiny. I mean, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's always a Pokemon that you've clicked on 1,000, 1,500 of, and you still don't have the shiny for. This might be that shiny for somebody, even for people that have been playing since the shiny was released. So, not everyone's in the same boat on this. I know there's going to be people that have 4 shinies, me included, for this guy. Yeah, I'm still going to be playing this Calm Day. It's a really good bonus with 3 times Stardust. I don't think it's going to be used in anything. This is one of the shinies I might actually delete, I'm sorry to say. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. It's going to be a pretty like lackluster community day compared to some other shinies. At least for me, but for the people that need it, I'm very happy that they can finally get it.
Well, thank you for being the voice of reason to that, because I was going to say completely different stuff.
Yeah. I saw you on Twitter.
Yeah, well, I have not been really happy about this announcement, just because, just like Rick has mentioned, this Pokemon has been a shiny available Pokemon actually since its release on Generation 3, and we don't need any more. I was happy to get my few that I already have, and I definitely have never thought about getting more. Mostly because whenever it responds, yeah, I click on it, yeah, it could be shiny, but I'm just like, I don't need it anymore. I already have enough, unless it's a Shando, but it is what it is. But they could have done so many different other ghost type Pokemons for October. They have the opportunity. It's right there, Niantic. And I can
It's like Litwick.
Well, that's like a prime example of a ghost type that needs to be shiny very soon. Now, I have heard from other people, of course, and other things that said, yeah, this is a lackluster event and things like that. It does, pan out to probably the casual player who has not had the chance to get the shiny at all in the last 4 years when it comes down to it. Plus, new players out there. I know a few, of course. But at the same time, there's so many other ghost type Pokemon that could have just released at this point that it's just way better than Duskull or Dusknoir in this regard. So it's not like they don't have the ability to it, but there's so many. Like, Liquid is, of course, the prime example. It's as powerful PvE Pokemon, and getting a special Community Day mood could actually increase its power both in PvE and PvP in that regard. Doesn't say that it's not the worst, but it's like the second best ghost type around there. We also have Golurk, which is a rare Pokemon out there that nobody really sees unless you hatch X most of the time. And even then, it's like the odds of getting one is almost close to having a shiny Aura during, Pokemon Go Fest 2016 or 2017 or something like that. So,
yeah, it's a really hard one.
So it comes to the sense that there's so many other ghost type Pokemons out there that could have just go ahead and done. Even if it would have been a minor ghost type Pokemon that the Generations has. I mean, I don't know every single one of them, but we're definitely going to see Duskull in October, probably throughout the entire month, just because it's Halloween themed October, of course. So it's not like we're not gonna see it. It's just why release more of this Pokemon now. Yes, a counter argument would be the world still doesn't need super exciting Pokemons to have because of everything that's going on in the world and things like that. And I understand, if we want to be safe, we want to be safe. Right here in the United States, we're having probably one of the worst crises out there because of it, because of what's going on, of course. But still, if we already got into this point, why not just release something that's going to at least dedicate some of the communities out there? Duskull is definitely a shiny nobody needs unless you're a brand new player or you haven't had the chance to really get one. PvP wise, Shadow Ball doesn't do anything for Dusknoir. Anything for it. If anything, it probably makes it worse. But but in our regard, yes, Chris, I understand. It makes it better. Just by a few things, it actually wins a couple of different matches. But the pre-evolution, that's way more than this next evolution. So it's not like
I was gonna say that its pre-evolution overshadows it. But dude, it's not even a competition.
Right.
Dusk. Oh man, what's its second evolution called?
Dusclops.
Dusclops. He just is so chunky that he can live through anything. In a battle between both of them, I'm pretty sure Dusclops still wins.
Yes.
Even, I don't know, he might even be able to live a Shadow Ball. He's like one of the few ghosts that can eat a Shadow Ball.
That's true. And that's one of the reasons why Dusknoir really doesn't shine, even with the Community Day move. The meaning, also giving him a move that technically he should already know, instead of being an exclusive Community Day move for the Pokemon, doesn't seem to be that crazy. Now, if they gave him something like, I don't know, Shadow Claw, does it earn Shadow Claw through regular means or no?
I don't remember if it can learn it in the main series games. It can't in Pokemon Go. I was thinking, I mean, look at Coffer Gigas.
Right.
That one got OP from it.
Right.
So if he got it, yeah, it'd be insane. Or even
Definitely.
like Shadow Punch.
Shadow Punch.
Shadow Punch would
Yeah.
be a huge
Yeah.
thing,
So there's so many other moves that could have actually gotten that would actually make it a more viable Pokemon just because being a third stage or a second stage evolution Pokemon with a powerful move that's going to actually be useful to it could have been a lot better than having it just having one of the worst additions to it and being only exclusive as a community day Pokemon or community day move in that regard. I don't understand the reasoning on that. Shadow Ball should be almost accessible for every single ghost type at this point. It's no real reasoning, but it really depends on who you talk to and things like that. So, and we're definitely going to have once again. I'm just going to relate this one last part. We're definitely going to see Duskull and other ghost type Pokemon throughout the month of October, just because that's how that month works. So it's not like we're not gonna see it anymore. We're definitely gonna see more of it, and we're definitely going to, shiny check whatever it is out there in the wild anyway. So I don't know. I just don't feel that this was the right requirement for October's Community Day when there's so many other opportunities out there.
I mean, unless they do Shiny Litwick on the side, kind of like how they did Gibble. The only good thing I have to say about Shadow Ball being its move is I can see it being better for newer players. Kind of like when we had Rhyperior after Tyranitar. It's a little bit of in my opinion, a subpar of a typing. But if we're fighting psychic types, I'd rather have like a Dusknoir with Shadow Ball on my side than like a Heatran fighting it on the other side or something.
Yeah,
but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll definitely see. I don't know if that's their full plan when it comes down to it. And the reason of getting us the information this early, even before this month's Community Day, which is Ashwat, I don't know. I feel like they do have something else planned for the end of October or close to the end of October. Maybe, a second Community Day or something, because we are almost done with the year. So September, October, and then November will be the last Community Days before December has every single Community Day out there. So I know that it's speculation. You never know with Niantic, but once again, they could actually put us in a interesting spot, where they're all...
I can see Halloween being like that.
Right, and, Halloween being one of the biggest events for anything, really. So just making it in that sense. Just how Niantic is thinking, or his headspace are. I know that planning goes into effect probably months, maybe years in advance in some points, and sometimes they adjusted on the fly. Maybe, we still have a good month close to it before the Community Day comes in, so maybe the feedback from the community will be more than enough for them to change it from one Pokemon to the other. But we still don't know. They don't know if that's their case in that regard, and we don't know what their planning is until they give us the next, developers update in between months or something like that, because that's what they're supposed to be releasing soon. So I don't know. I could rant on. I could continue on about this, but definitely something that I'm not really super excited about. I'll definitely play it. It's not like that I won't play it, but and that's because of the Stardust, but still, it's something that I probably won't go out of my way of saying, hey, I'm going to go here and just hunt for the next 6 hours or something like that.
I got to get all of them.
I have enough Stardust to last me a good year, if anything, so... So yeah, that's pretty much it on that information of news. If you guys have any opinions about the Community Day of October, let us know. Of course, our social medias are out there, and anything else regarding that will be put on hold for next month. We'll see. That being said, of course, that was technically the only piece of news that we had, and more information about anything else really at this point is probably over in Pokeminers, because they definitely only follow what it's out there. I'm just gonna review Pokeminers a little bit of Dynamining. Again, Dynamine is breaking terms of service, but if you do it and just talk about it, you're not breaking them. So definitely keep your eyes out there. Now, there was a number of updates a couple of days ago. Actually shows the Purified Ponyta, Zigzagoon, and Jazzmask Purified forms, cost candy reduction has been fixed, and then more information also on, of course, Furfur, which is the next release new Pokemon in the next. But there's also other ones like, Tyrum, Malamar, Amara, all those Pokemon. Super Unbound has also been in the code there. It's some interesting sizing updates that we definitely want to see soon. But yeah, aside from that, they just found out a couple of extra pictures here. I won't spoil it for you guys because those are the snapshot pictures we're going to have in both community days anyways. And some stickers.
Oh, a little throwback too. Remember when they put in a Bowtie Lapras a while ago?
Oh God.
Somebody talked about that on Twitter. They're like, remember when this was a thing? But I don't know, we still haven't seen it. It's been like a year.
Yeah, and I don't understand when it comes down to it. There has been some release notes from the last update on September 10th, so let's go over them real quick, and we'll definitely talk about our PvP section here. So, release notes may be posted before release of available trainers, yada yada yada. So, features: move the mysterious component collection notification to part of the battle rewards. I have actually seen that when you battle the grunts, where the animation for the mysterious component doesn't overtake your gameplay when you finish one of the battles with the grunt, and then it shows you that. I'm actually okay with that, definitely.
It's beautiful. I really like the change. Yeah.
The only one that still appears is the Rocket Raider, and of course, that's mostly because it shows you that you are getting one and you can equip it in that regard. There's also a visual update to the raid reward screen. This was actually noted when I was doing a couple of raids earlier this week. At the end of the battle with the Pokemon that you're raiding, usually it shows your rewards and everything when the Pokemon is still, kind of sizing down from his raid mode. Now, the ending screen will actually show once again the medal that happens at the beginning of the battle when it says go, and then it shows the progress of your friends and your rewards and things like that. So you technically don't see the Pokemon anymore or the Pokemon's out there anymore. Or anything else like that anymore. You just see the screen, the battle screen, and all that. So, again, not as much of a change, but I did notice it after the update, so it's actually kind of cool, I guess. It does help out visualize the raid a little bit better in all regards. We also have some quality of life updates, which I don't know if they're really... I don't know if they're really that much, but we'll go over them. Pending feature activation, battle party recommendations will weight a Pokemon's damage per second more heavily in raids. I'm not entirely sure how that works. I guess it's just mostly like a the battle recommendation and a weight of a Pokemon damage per seconds will be more significant in the raid than other Pokemons in your party. So let's say you have like a Hondo with double move Pokemons and things like that, or moves and everything. But a Pokemon's weight will actually determine what's going to be on your battle recommendation screen instead of your actual good ones. So that may be a small little change in that regard. Do you get it, Chris?
Unless I'm hearing it wrong, are they saying the people that do more damage are going to be the
No, the Pokemons that will do more damage in battles. That's why it's called the battle party recommendation.
Yeah, the DPS.
Yeah, so I'm guessing the weight. I guess the recommendation will be more of the Pokemon's stronger damage to it, I guess.
Yeah, instead of like the Pokemon that are going to live longer.
That's probably a good thing then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember when they put Blissey's in?
Oh, God.
If you had Blissey's?
Yeah.
So yeah, it hopefully it'll be good.
Right. Basically, it will be DPS over TDO. So that makes more sense. And if you guys don't know what that means, DPS means more damage per second, while TDO is more survivability per second. So it kind of makes sense. Why am I getting invited to a battle? Do it. I know, right? But yeah, that's an interesting one. Hopefully, we'll see more when it comes down to it. More, maybe your Pokemons that have better ABs will actually do more damage in that regard. But we'll see how it really works out. The time for experience notification to displays has been reduced. I'm guessing the time that you see the Like when I catch a Pokemon, you see the experience notification kind of deal. Not on the raids, but on your own persona. Maybe that display has been reduced a little bit longer, so it won't appear as much anymore. So that means you got to take a screenshot faster than anything else. I don't know. I'm still learning through all these things. Improvement to German language text display. That's, of course, for the German people out there. Trainers can save their trainer achievement cards to their device multiple times. I'm guessing that's from the raids. I'm guessing. I'm not entirely sure either. Because that's how it works. Right, Chris?
I'm not sure I'm hearing it right.
Trainers can save their trainer achievements card to their device multiple times.
Huh.
Well, the only achievement that we ever get is during the raid, when you do the most damage or things like that. I know you.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless they're like saving like the XP or something straight to your phone. Like,
no,
I don't know.
No.
It's so weird.
No, well, during the battle screen, once you finish a raid, you see which achievements you get. You know you can save that achievement to your phone.
Why would you save that?
I don't know, to share it, I guess, because
it's strange.
it's the same as screenshot it, but
Yeah, I mean there are people that compete for who can do the most damage in a raid. So I guess it does make some sense.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is when it comes down to that. I'm not sure. And then we have a couple of extra bug fixes out here. For the battles, fix an issue causing remote raid invitations to persist after expiring. I think that's still there. I don't know if it's an actual fix, but I have seen the precision something's kept there for a while, but that might be because of a glitch or something that happens during. Fix an issue where trainers were not offered a rematch after losing a Tico Go battle, Rocket battle. Again, I haven't really seen it myself, but I guess it was an issue for some players since it's being addressed right here. Fix an issue where the shading of sunglasses did not display properly in Go Battle League matches. Visual bug, I guess, but that's about it. Pokédex. Fix an issue where event Galarian Pokemon did not register in the event Pokédex. Anybody actually go to the Pokédex anytime soon?
Just catch them, yeah.
And then some general fixes here, I guess. Fix an issue displaying the incorrect evolution for Umbra and Espeon. I know that was a glitch since even before Community Day. Well, at least, our last Community Day. Fix an issue where trainers' daily Pokestop spins. Streaks will count in if they attempt to spin a Pokestop even if their bank items is full. Wait, isn't that a good thing? Or am I reading that wrong? Fixed an issue where trainers' daily Pokestop spin streaks will count if they attempt to spin a Pokestop even if their item pack is full.
Huh. Wait, they don't want that? I thought that was a good thing.
I was like...
I thought they did that to be cool.
I thought that was like... Actually, I thought that was actually designed for it. Are you fixing issues or you're fixing mistakes that were good mistakes? I don't know.
Now you gotta buy more bag space.
But
I already have the highest bag space. You gotta buy more.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Anyway. Fix an issue where the new attack button appeared tappable when a trainer did not have enough Stardust. Okay. Fix an issue where the map view will appear for one frame during the egg hatching animation. Okay. I really don't see anything wrong with those. I mean, unfortunately, I guess there were a problem before. I guess there was something that they were been looking into, but most of the time,
bigger problems.
Yeah, I know, right? And bigger glitches out there that we're definitely got to be covering in a few minutes again here. But that's basically it. I hope that they do this almost every single time now that they're trying to communicate more information to us during their updates and things like that. So we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it on that. We already talked about our speculations and everything, so hopefully we'll have more news to cover next week, guys. But let's get into the nitty-gritty here, the PvP section. Get good, get right. Here we go, Chris. Well, we definitely have quite a bit of information to go over the PvP scene, but the very first one we're going to talk about is something that is affecting the PvP GBL community and almost the battle is out there. So, Chris, what is it that we're having here?
I'm surprised with how new it is, because I thought, we'd figure out something like this sooner. So I don't know if it just came with the last update.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, if you're doing a battle and when somebody attacks, either while you're attacking or more specifically, if while they're attacking, you put the app. I think it's mostly available on iPhones. You kind of go out of the app, but not really. Like you drag it halfway or something. So it's kind of minimized, but not really.
I'm showing it on the stream right now. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing.
Okay. But you do that whenever the attack is going, and then you come back right before the attack hits. It actually makes the timer go down faster, and the opponent sees it as 1 or 2 turns of lag, but they don't really know what's happening because it's no internet problems or anything. No. And the only real way to combat it if you're fighting them is I think you got to kind of do the same thing. At the same time they are. I don't know a lot about it, but I know it's something that they've been hollering about on Twitter, so I think there's going to be a fast fix to it. I wouldn't even be surprised if they close down Go Battle League for a little while to fix it, kind of like the fix with Melmetal.
With the Jesus bug, yeah.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Melmetal, the Melmetal glitch stuff.
Yeah.
The real winners from this, and I already talked to Purified about this, are the chunky timer stall Pokemon. The debuff teams, the Wobbuffets, the Blissies, the Chanseys. You run those, and then you're able to switch just constantly, no matter what, almost. You're able to stall the timer so much that you always have more Pokemon than the opponent, no matter what. You either have 3 when they have 2, or you have 2 when they have 1. It's almost mindless to win at that point, which is crazy. Because Go Battle League is supposed to be competitive, so it's really disheartening to see that people are taking advantage of this glitch right now.
That's true. It's something that, of course, scares a lot of the PvP community because people are out there trying to actually rank up. There are PvP or at least battlers out there that want to get to the number 1 in the leaderboard, things like that. So if things like this keep happening, they're never gonna get there. Because other people do want to rank up as much as possible to get to Legends before the end of the season. And people are grinding hard for their season this year, for sure, or this season for sure. But if this glitch continues to be a problem, then even PvP itself could be jeopardized, because that means that you're always going to have advantage against your opponent, no matter what you do, how you do it. And that's just not how PvP works, just like Chris has mentioned. It should be about skill and overcoming the weird and interesting teams out there with your own strategies and things like that. So I hope that Niantic has been hearing this about. I do believe it's only on iOS or at least Apple phones, which, as you can see in the screen right now, I can go ahead and actually toggle away from the game and probably go to another app if I wanted to, if it was open. But it changes the mechanic of how PvP is played if we keep something like that happening. So I hope there will be a fix soon, and if not, I don't know how this thing's gonna go, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not telling you guys, so you guys try it. I'm just saying, be aware. There are some people that will be taking advantage of this. So if you get high enough, you're probably gonna be seeing people.
The moment that I saw that glitch happen, don't get me wrong, it's bad as it is, but I don't know if people actually want to go through with it. It seems like a lot of work just to win a match,
Yeah, some people are just crazy about trying to be the highest winners of the Go Battle League.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels if you are just hoping to stall out the game until the very last seconds, you're basically spending the 5 minutes that they give you in that. The entire 5 minutes, unless you can actually beat out your opponent faster than usual. But still, I don't know. It just feels like too time consuming in that regard, and people sometimes don't have the patience to go through it with it. So, unless the glitch gets patched out, cool. If not, people are probably just gonna forget about it eventually. But that's because it just seems like a lot of work in that sense.
Yeah.
But anyways, that being said, that of course, again, guys, just be careful of where you go and what you do, and how you battle with other players. With that being said, we do have some interesting Silt Arena news. Actually, this weekend, and more occasionally a couple hours ago, the Silt Arena World Championships began and ended as recording of this podcast. And we do have a winner for the world champion has been crowned. Congrats to Doombug97. Do you know anything about the actual player itself, or have you seen him platter before or anything like that?
Yes, I've definitely seen his name around. Cool enough, he's actually on the same team that the previous world champion was. He's in Mazer, which is very awesome.
Nice.
He actually competed last year. I think he made it to Continentals last year. And he came very close, but Speedy's Chief, in order to win last year, he had to beat him. But this year, he took the crown. And yeah, I'm very happy to see him win because he's a very solid player. He definitely shows players what they need to do to win, and I think he's been a very good part of the community.
Nice. I do. Haven't really, aside from Speedy's Chief, of course, which he was a caster on this year's Worlds. Him being part of that bigger community, and of course being part of a team like that, it's great. I mean, just seeing more and more players being more comfortable with PvP and how they do things, just being crowned champion, the world champion, it's a very big deal. And I do hope that I can... Go ahead.
And having two champions on your team for Mazer, boy. That is crazy to me. They're gonna have multiple champions on their team. Nobody's gonna want to fight them.
I guess it's time to break out, the gloves, and it's time to go ahead and break down the champions from their thrones soon. Next season is coming up. Next season is coming up. We gotta be ready, brother. But yeah,
I got it.
I got it. You got it. Anyways, but yeah, congrats to Doombug97. I'll definitely holler him to see if we can actually get an interview pretty soon. But if not, then I know the guy is pretty busy anyways. But we'll see. I'll get Chris and I to go ahead and sweet talk him. Of course, that is the Silt Arena. The next season should be starting, I think, next month. So it's giving us a little bit of time to rest up and get ready our Pokemons in their Stardust. Of course, we will have a community day with triple Stardust and things like that. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, now let's get into a quick factions update. Chris, what did you got for me this week?
Oh God, this month or this faction week, dude, it was looking so good. And then we actually fought the actual top team in our bracket, and yeah, one fantastic. Okay, Texas PvP, very very strong team. They've got Eevee, Sophie, Bopper, Sharky, 628, Saul Lickitung, and Vergy Verg, and Major Bowman. And Curtado Chip. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize we had so many people on both of our teams. But I knew two of them. I knew Eevee, Sophie, and I knew Vergy Verg, and they're very 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 good trainers. And before I even fought Eevee, she was the Open Great League specialist with me. And before that, multiple people on my team were like, "Oh man, I just got 3-0'd. Oh man, I was able to get one out, but not too much." I was like, "What is happening? We're dropping like flies." I'm like looking at the teams. I'm like, okay. I'm glad I put a Alolan Marowak on. It does well versus most of her team. She's got one Pokemon that scares the living daylights out of me, Umbreon. I have no hard counter for Umbreon, all of my Pokemon are like, that thing's kind of scary, man. And wouldn't you know it, whenever I bring a Alolan Marowak out, as soon as I take out one of her Pokemon, you know that Umbreon's coming in every single time, and I had no answer for it. It was horrible. So she was able to 3-0 me. They ended up winning 17-4.
Oof.
So hopefully the next round is better, and I do expect us to rank up after this season. So I think we're going to be out of the lower brackets, and we should be in one of the higher ones. Definitely not like the top ones, but we should be up to like bronze maybe.
All right. I can see that happening. Well, you can only have, good games and bad games, and this week I guess it was one of those.
Oh, it was bad.
But, you live and learn. You always go through those. So I'm definitely thinking that all your teammates and you have learned from this and know how to get counters. But definitely
Bring a fighter.
Always. But yeah, no, like I said, it's a good learning experience. I'm sure that you guys have discussed this many times. So I hope for the best for the next few weeks for sure. But yeah. Surprisingly enough, that will be the end of the podcast because we don't really have much to talk about after this. We do have, again, quite a bit of small weeks ahead of us. And surprisingly, not a lot this coming week either. So we'll see how we can manage next week for you guys. With that being said, Chris, do you have anything else today?
No, I think we covered everything fantastically.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for listening, everybody, here in the podcast services feeds and live streams, of course. If you want to check us out, make sure that you check us out on our social media. We do have myself at Pure Let It Go, Chris at Pokemon Trigger Please. That is PKMN Trigger Please. Don't forget to check us out on any of the podcast feeds out there. If you're listening to podcasts, of course, make sure that you leave us a review if you can. That'd be greatly appreciated. It expands our podcast to anybody that wants to listen to us, of course. Saint to see, thank you so much for coming. And of course, you can always email us any info or anything you want to talk about at purifiedpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, you can check us out at the purifiedpodcast.com, the Professor Network. So yeah, with that being said, Chris, I guess you can take us away for the night.
All right. Though the next two community days aren't going to be very exciting. I will say I do think we're going to have a lot of fun anyways. And hopefully next week we have more news to tell you about the upcoming events. I'm very hopeful. I do think we're going to get a pretty big dump of news coming up. But yeah, hope you guys have a fantastic week. Get all your shinies you want, and keep competing and go Battle League. And don't get glitched on. Okay, peace out. Have a good one.
Keep purifying them. We'll see you guys next week.